to Level Sync, a Final Fantasy XI podcast with your hosts, DA Soccer, Lost Time Lord, and Quetch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Level Sync podcast. Wait. I don't know our intro.
You know our tagline, but not our intro.
He knows the
tagline.
tagline.
A Horizon
That
Final
one-
Fantasy XI podcast
There we go.
That one makes it onto the blooper reel.
where
So,
players come together damn it. If you look at the description of our podcast, it's when players come together regardless of experience. Because if you're 10 levels apart, you know how you get, right, DA? Don't you get less?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm your host for this evening's show, but let me first introduce my fabled co-hosts. We have the Danny Ocean of Final Fantasy XI, DA Soccer. DA, how are you?
hanging in there over the con crud, but hanging in there.
Yeah, you've recovered.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that was COVID, but let's keep on trucking. I'm alive.
That is a quick recovery, sir.
Oh yeah.
We also have with us the Ruben Tishkoff of Final Fantasy XI, Lost Time Lord.
Yes, that's perfect. That's
What
perfect.
the fuck? Wow.
I mean,
These are never rehearsed, folks, by the way. We never know what the person's going to say. So it's always a lot of fun.
We've never had a script. We have outlines.
No.
We've never had a
Outlines,
script.
yeah. LTL, how are you? Since we went and visited you, by the way, this show's going to be about Las Vegas, if that hasn't been mentioned. How are you over there in the old desert?
I'm doing well. It is about 100 degrees today. It feels like 1,000. We had a couple of days of pretty nice weather, so it was nice to come down from that crazy heat to something more manageable. But I'm doing all right, just living life with 2 dogs and doing some podcast action.
Rock on. And I
I didn't get con crud. I didn't have any con crud.
I came back okay as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for Claustros honey. That's all I can say.
And I, the Rusty Ryan of Final Fantasy XI. Do we tell people? So that's an Ocean's 11 reference, by the way,
That was good.
dear viewer.
Mhm.
I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't have named, except for Danny Ocean, I could not have named these characters. To me, it's like the Brad Pitt character, the guy who blows stuff up character. Like,
He is eating in every single scene of that entire movie, by the way. Every scene that Brad Pitt is in.
Are you
he is
serious?
eating something. Every single scene.
all the
Every one
movies
of
or the first movie?
them. Just in at least Ocean's 11.
Okay.
I can't quote on all of them, but every single scene, you can go to any scene he's in, he's eating.
It's been a number of years since I've seen that movie, and I think I'm going to watch it again, and then I'm going to look out for that.
The
Gonna
classic.
add that tagline to the next podcast. And useless movie facts.
with DA Soccer.
Yeah, I have a lot of those.
So, so the cat's out of the bag. If you watched last episode, we all got together and were cooked a meal by LTL with some sweet knives. If you didn't see that episode, I definitely recommend it. It's just everybody hanging out, and like Hugin was there. Just good fun hangs, honestly. So this episode is going to be past that. So was that Friday afternoon-ish? Friday night?
Yeah, that was Friday.
Yeah, it was
As
Friday.
the event technically started.
Yeah.
And by the way, LTL, I posted
Hi.
a picture of your beef Wellington in the
Oh, okay.
actual gather together photo section, and somebody said, "I didn't know there was a group going to Hell's Kitchen." And they thought it was a Gordon Ramsay specifically he made, and that's how great your dish came out. And by the way, just compliments. It was my first time ever having it. I can't give you enough of compliments on it. It was just phenomenal, and I loved being able to sit there and just watch it. I had somebody come by stream and was like, "Did he do the mustard? Did he puree this? Did he do?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it got to edit it out, but he nailed every single one of those." And I was just giving you a compliment, literally compliments to the chef.
Well, I appreciate that. For anybody curious who may have seen the picture or who knows what DA is talking about, to say that it looks like Gordon Ramsay's is definitely, that's a compliment unlike many others. But I think, and these guys will admit, because during the course of creating that, I did say we have to stop the video for a little bit, because one of my rituals or traditions, as it were, every time I make a beef Wellington, every time, doesn't matter. Um, I take the 5 or 6 minutes, I don't know how long it is, to watch the Gordon Ramsay video. It's a Christmas one where he makes a Christmas Wellington. It's the one where he uses hazelnuts instead of, well, in addition to mushrooms for the duxelle. But I always watch it, not just because I need to be reminded how to make it, because at this point it's pretty well cemented in my brain. But like, he gives me, and this is gonna sound really dumb, but he gives me the confidence, like watching his video and like just how easy it is to him. It kind of gives me the like reminds me of like I can do this, you know what I mean? And like I use that as kind of like a jumping off point for me. And I will say, and even Gan said this when we were there, that was probably no, not probably, definitely that was the best Wellington I've ever made. Like that was, I mean, it stayed together. The bottom wasn't soggy at all. The bottom was
Mm.
nice and crispy.
I hadn't thought about
There
those
was a,
things, but obviously, since you've made multiple for yourself, you
yeah.
would have paid attention to that.
Well,
Poor
a lot of times the yeah, poor Hugan. The fillet, obviously, like the cooking meat lets out juice. The mushrooms are full of water, right? Like, I mean, that's just how mushrooms are. I extra cooked the duxelle this time, and as you guys saw, I had a double wrap because it was such a big fucking fillet. I had to double wrap the with the pastry. And like literally that thing came off of the pan like without any struggle, and cutting through it, the bottom was crunchy. It was the perfect Wellington. Like I don't typically say like, oh, pat myself on the back, I made this perfect. But that one was, I think that if I were to serve that to Gordon Ramsay himself, that he would have approved in all of the ways that were important. Um,
I'm
so
never gonna
yeah,
have
no.
another one.
Well, I
I want
mean,
that to be my one and only.
no, I
Nice.
challenge you. I challenge you to have another one, to actually go to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant if one opens near you, or if you ever come back to Vegas or whatever, and get the Wellington and actually compare the two. Because again, like as much as I say it's great, Gordon would love it or whatever. I mean, it's his recipe. It's not something I came up with. It's not something I sourced from different recipes. Nothing like
Yeah.
that. It's straight from him. So the fact that I'm able to like emulate what he does so closely is an attestation to years of practice. I've been doing this for literal years. If you've ever watched any of my old cooking streams, you'll know that. Um, and just like I said, lots of practice, like doing it
Thank,
over and over and over again.
thank you for filling your extra life from 2 years ago. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
I mean, if that's what it took, like I didn't have to do anything, so I'm good. I'm good on that. It's just made some food and talk some shit,
That's
and
it, man. That's all streaming
yeah,
is sometimes. You might not be literally
yeah.
making food, but you're making something for the audience and you're talking shit. Like that's what a stream is. And
Well, I mean,
I had
the
a
thing
great
for
time.
me is I would have to have like set up like all of the stuff in my because I would
Yeah.
usually do it live, right? So I'd have to
Yeah.
set up the cameras and have like the whole background and all that shit. So that's why it was nice to not have to do any of that. So thank you,
Yeah.
Quest. I appreciate it.
True.
Yeah, man. I will say also while streaming, I've had 2 streams since we got back, and people will randomly come into my chat and they'll be like, "Oh, that Wellington looked fantastic," and I'm like, "Ooh, right?" So like people that aren't even in our Discord and stuff. So yeah, it ruled. The audience got hungry, and but today we are going to talk all about the rest of Las Vegas, and but we're going to start off with what you've been up to because we've honestly, I know, have been doing a few things in Final Fantasy, like on Horizon in the game, that we'd like to just give you guys an update on because it's been a few weeks, and yeah, so maybe I'll start this time, DA, because I know you have more to say. I think you've got a couple of really cool stuff. Mine's not very broad, but I did hit Summoner 71 on stream on
Burn
what day is
parties?
it? Burn parties.
Parties?
So I
You
had
tired of them yet?
so I was a little tired of them. So on Sunday, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, I did like a traditional party. This was mind blowing. Level 69 Sync, Cape Terrigan, Paladin Tank, White Mage Healer. I think it was a Dark Knight and a Thief, skill chaining, Black Mage Magic Bursting, Summoner as pure support. I did 3 support BPs, and that was it. And I just kept those 3 on hard rotation, and the occasional heal. We had a literal paladin tank and white mage healer. Skill chain magic burst with black mage.
Okay.
It was like
Interesting.
10k an hour, 12k with ring or so. It wasn't the
Okay.
greatest, but it was a nice.
XP, man.
Yeah, and we did, and we got. I think I got to level. I think I was the sync. I think I hit level. I was like, I think I started 68, and then we resynced to me at 69, and then I got like halfway into that, and then I did a burn party on whichever other day I
It's
streamed.
good to have the change of paces when it comes
Yeah.
to Summoner and Black Mage leveling. It's good to have those change of paces, even though the burn parties and Zark and Boostedine are something that you can rely on.
Yeah.
I did both of those to 75 back to back, and I wanted to shoot myself
Dude.
for being tired of the burn. So having something like that, I can definitely see that you don't care about the XP per hour. It's just a nice change of pace, good scenery.
Yeah.
You know, something new.
Interestingly, then I got into a burn party that next day, and I was getting like 16k an hour, and I was going, this is friggin' awesome. And then 3 hours later, I'm like, my brain is mush, and I'm tired of pulling on Summoner, and I'm tired of skill chaining on Summoner, and I'm tired of everything on Summoner, and I'm like ready to go. So yeah, that's been fun. And then after that, I went and wanted to finish the Evoker's Ring because it's level 71. But here's the thing about that NPC. A smart person would farm all the items and then turn them in. But if you turn in, so for the viewer who doesn't know how this works, it's the Evoker's Ring. It's got an avatar perpetuation cost -1 on it and some MP. You have to defeat all of the avatars and pick the item that they give. It's called one's called like Rust
item,
Begone.
right?
No, it's actually a
Yeah.
physical item.
It's an actual.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. It's been a
Negative
while. I
inventory.
forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So for only this ring, it is a physical item that then goes into your inventory. Then you can give to an NPC in Norg, and once you've given him one from each avatar, the next day he'll give you the Evoker's Ring. If you give 1 or 2 or 6 of them, he does not tell you what you gave him. So you need to just know.
Mm-hmm.
So I remembered at least doing one, and as I'm like, okay, I know I didn't do Ifrit, so we'll go do Ifrit. My chat started scrubbing my old VODs from the last time I was playing Summoner, and they were like, okay, so you definitely did Shiva. I see you handed it in, but I can't find any others. They're like, you fought Garuda and you fought Ramu, but I'm not seeing you turn in the items. And I'm like, okay. So we went and did Ifrit. We did all the others, and I went and turned in those items, and he still wasn't giving it to me. And I was just like, all right, guys, I don't know. It must be some of these other ones that we thought I did but didn't. And I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna end the stream. And then the next day, it turned out I just needed Garuda and Ramu, and I turned them in and got my ring this morning. So sitting on Evoker's Ring, level 71 Summoner, and getting there. I'm gonna be a Lost Time Lord soon, little baby Lost Time Lord.
Soon you'll learn Suck for Carby, and then you'll be one of the big boys.
Do I get that at 75?
Yeah, it's a meritable ability.
Oh,
So you have
it's
to merit it. Yeah, you gotta merit it.
That's great.
It's building a closer bond with your carbuncle.
What was the phrase? A different kind of loyalty.
Yes, it's definitely a different kind of loyalty.
But
it's so funny because like Carbuncle Suck comes from a misspeak by you, Quetch. I don't know if you remember the original.
Oh,
it comes
yeah.
From you. I love that.
Yeah, it's just actually been Summoner for me. So let's see, EXP. Yeah, I'm almost on with my merits for Red Mage because you need 8 of 8 enhancing merits in order to get the very last point of end spell damage. And yeah, I'm at 5 of 8. So that's another thing I've been working on kind of slowly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure you have your dark magic skill too all the way up because your stuns won't hit if you don't. If you're asked to chain spell stun.
Can you do 16 total magic skills, or do you just get 8?
It's 8. I mean, make sure that your dark skill is skilled up, is what I'm saying.
Oh, like skilled to cap.
Hold up, skill to cap.
Yeah. No, I still got to do that. Yeah. I should log in every 2 hours and use chain spell, and then chain spell Asper a worm, and then log out. Like that's what I should do.
Dude, you can just sit in like depending on your level or whatever. You can just sit in like Kuftal and just though not chain spell, but like just like keep dark magicking worms.
Bio drain
And
Esper. Yeah.
yeah, and like they'll die like as slow as possible because you're not actually hurting them, and then you'll just get like dark magic skill up until, I mean, I forget what the cap is. You
It's like
can't cap out there. I mean, you
212
can't
or something
you
like
can't
that.
yeah, you can't get to like cap
Correct.
from like there. I
Or
don't
at least not
remember
on
where I
Black
went to
Mage.
finish it.
At least not on Black
Right.
Mage
Oh,
cap.
yeah.
Red Mage you might hit because
Right.
it's a couple ranks lower. But yeah, I don't know. DA, how about you? What have you been up to in the world of Vanadil outside of going to Vegas and meeting a bunch of topless women?
Yeah, your proud dad moment, by the way. Your hand on the hip on the side, you were looking over your shoulder at me like, that's my boy. That was such a great photo.
Yeah. DA has promised us a collage of pictures for the end of the episode where you can see that picture in particular if you watch all the way to the end or just scrub.
Yeah, we'll make sure to zoom in on that. I got my Evoker's ring as well.
You did too.
I turned it in before we went to Vegas, and then I just never picked it up, and because it was saving me 7 inventory slots, I believe it is, or 6 inventory slots, and I just never went and picked it up. So when you picked it up, you mentioned, "Hey, once I hit 71, I'm going to check this mount out. I'm going to go pick up my Evoker's ring." I was like, "That's sitting," and I went out there and picked it up myself.
That's
so
funny.
you literally reminded me to pick mine up. I have officially level sync is now 75 white mage hardcore. I have hit 75. So yes, it is there. We got a bunch of pictures. I actually posted in our host chat the spam tells that came through of everybody saying congratulations, all positive vibes from people.
No, except for the bottom ones, which are like, how much did you pay for your carry?
Dude, Al had one. I cut it off right at the end, and it was Al. He just said penis. I cut that one off though. But Juniors is in there a little bit higher to the top. You can see that up there. But officially 75 hardcore. I got my warp ring, and I've started working on my Dark Knight. And we decided, since the whole group, I was the last one of the actual hardcore group to hit 75. We are doing missions and getting things unlocked for everybody, because there are a few people that it was their first 75, a few other people who didn't have sky access. So we're jumping on our mains and being able to get everybody's stuff unlocked and done before we jump back over. And our core is we need to get to level 30 on our own. Once we're 30, we'll group back up and we'll start another push for 75s up the chart. But I am going Dark Knight on this one, and the main purpose in that is not to hit Soul Leader or Last Resort every time, or at least do it in between pulls.
No,
but
don't even hit
my Taru.
Don't even touch it.
We're gonna have a ninja tank, and I'm gonna be watching his shadows. One of the best things you can do as a Dark Knight is watching when they need to put up Ichi. When they need to put up Ichi, that's when you hit it with a stun, buys them up time, they get shadows up, and ninjas will absolutely love you for being able to just do that, because it's not a bad cooldown. By the time usually Ichi needs to be used again, your stun's ready to rock and roll. So I'm looking forward to being able to keep our hardcore tank alive at some point in time. I am 47 pieces off of Limbus from being completely done with all drops from Limbus. I need to start +1ing. I still need to, shake that head. I still need to get about 1,500 more ABCs.
When you say drops from Limbus, you don't mean Homom and...
No, I'm meaning +1 AF.
Right.
I don't...
Okay.
The items.
50 FIDI. He's been great. In the middle of the night, hits me up on like a Wednesday or Thursday, and he's like, "Yo, we're about ready to run." So I log in, I go up there, and I pass out. I wake up the next morning, I count how many pieces I have, I mail him the gill. So I've gotten a great deal on that. It's 50K a drop. So usually each job is costing me $500,000. I'm sitting decent currency. I'm sitting at about 7 mil currency right now, but 5 mil of that is going to the Teabag Festival, which we are coming up to. We're actually at the halfway point of the Teabag Festival. And there we have a clear first, second, and third place right now, which is a 5 mil pot between the 3 of them. But it is still open and available if anybody wants to be able to play and participate. I think third place right now is like a mil payout, and that mil is only 7 points. Literally, if you like Teabag Blessing, just get a screenshot of it, or War Scarred, or Zeus. Those are all worth 10 pointers. So the Teabag Festival is still going nice and strong on here. But yeah, it's been I've been getting back into a little bit of running some Dynamis and some evening stuff with the Hades crew with Sev and Chi and Junior and those guys. That's been really enjoyable just to be able to banter and have a good vibes, good time with the actual group of people. We're actually right now, right after this podcast is done, we're going to be running KS 99, and I got a
Nice.
99th seal today, so I'm ready to rock and roll with that. And we might do some HE and M tier 1 and tier 2s. We had our first ever, well, my first ever Tomberry win a few weeks ago, which was pretty cool. They asked me to come out on Black Mage, which I never get asked
Ooh.
anything other than the White Mage, and I did incredibly well. I didn't fuck up. That was my whole goal, not to fuck up, and we one shot it. We one shot it, and it was funny because my character's name's DA Soccer. There's a guy in the group named DA Snack, or Da Snack,
Does snack.
and his alt is named Dassault. So it was my first time running and killing the Tomberry, and I think the Black Mage Cape dropped, which is like a really good piece for Black Mages. And I saw it, and it was my first time running with them and winning. And so I didn't want anything. It's like you don't have the newcomer come in and lot a piece of gear. You know what I'm saying? You have the core group that's been running for a while lot it. So they said, "All right, DA, DA got it." And I was like, "Hey, congratulations!" And DA Snack got it. And then, like, for 2 days, somebody was like, "I can't believe DA Soccer showed up and just lotted the first ever drop we've had of that cape." And they were like, "No, it was Snack." And he was like, "Oh, my bad, my bad." I was like, I'm shitty. I'm not gonna just show up and take your gear like that." But it was pretty funny, and I'm glad that they actually finally got a drop. And we've just been having a good time with. By the way, when you hit 75 hardcore, I didn't know it puts a animation around the area with like sparkles and like wavy stuff and glowing. I can give you screenshots of it.
I've never
But
seen
it's
that.
like
It's the same thing that
makes
happened when we beat World First Dragons.
Okay. So when that
Oh.
occurs, it stays there as long as you're in the zone. So next 75 hardcore, which will be Dark Knight, I'm gonna make sure I do it on a scroll, and I'm gonna do it in Port Juno, right by my Galka that walks back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna hit 75 right there in Juno, and I'm not gonna log out until server reset. I'm gonna let that just manifest in the Port Juno area. But I thought that was really cool. To
How
be
many
able to see that in
hardcores does it
environment.
take to crash Port Juno? You know,
Uh,
like how many hardcore 75s in Port do we need to do here?
Oh, don't! I'm not going to push that. That's dangerous right there. But other than that, I think that's kind of roughly it that I was getting involved with. Just a good time. Been making the gill and spending it, and just making progress on my normal things. Ready for Extra Life next month.
Yeah, rock on. And we're going to touch on that in a little bit. LTL, did you have anything you wanted to add to the what you've been up to? That would
No, I
be
mean,
different from last
obviously,
week,
I
or
have
last episode.
I haven't been back yet. But the get together definitely made me start to feel the pangs of hunger a little bit to come back. It's just I want to make sure that I'm in the right headspace and ready for the same thing. Basically, like getting back into it at this point, unless I'm leveling a new character, is just going to be Sky, Dynamis, like, inside sea gods or whatever for capes and et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be a lot of like or HENMs as well. I just need to make sure I'm in the right headspace to get back into that. But as of late, I won't mention the thing that I mentioned that I was playing when we were together, but Borderlands 4 came out. And if you guys, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't imagine that anyone here has any recollection of my previous stream history, but there was a good couple of years there where Borderlands 2 was the only game I played all the fucking time, where I got a lot of my, like, people that I would consider friends through streaming I met playing that game. So, and I think I have like 800 hours on Borderlands 2 or something. Anyways, point is, Borderlands 4 came out, and I've been really enjoying that. So probably once this is over, a little closer to the holidays, I'll be making soup and playing Horizon. So it'll be happening at some point in the nearest future.
Every time I saw
Cool.
Borderlands 4 commercial, I thought of you.
It's, I
So
mean, yeah, no, it was really like a big part of my streaming coming up, was playing that game. So yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me that at least someone remembers that was my thing for a long time.
No.
Dope. Yeah, cool. I'll have to I'll have to ask you about that in the future. Get your opinion on the game. I haven't touched a Borderlands since 2. Actually, I played Tiny Tina's for a bit, but that was about it.
Well, I will say that it's, I didn't really enjoy Borderlands 3 very much, but this one is a lot of fun. I'm having a really good time with it.
Cool.
Much more so than I did with 3, so that's good.
Oh, I do have one more thing to add from what you've been up to. Prior to Vegas, I had actually been saving up a number of behemoth hides to try for Dusk Gloves +1.
Yeah.
I did not get the +1s. It was either 19 or 20 hides, and which is like 10 million gil, and we NQ'd each and every one of them. So I'm sitting on like 25, I think, in my on one of my mules of just Dusk Gloves like NQ. It was awful, and it's a good thing I didn't bet more money in Vegas because I didn't win there either.
I mean, good thing I fucking took home the big prize in Vegas.
Well, dude, that was such a payout, dude. I was so impressed.
Man, only I could turn $100 into 20 cents with such grace and aplomb.
Dude, you look so happy.
I
I'm gonna
was
make sure to
so
get that,
happy.
in the collage that I'm making.
Yes, thank you.
Rock on.
You're welcome.
But yeah, all NQ, and basically I will not be attempting again. I have I'll be doing 4 actually. I have enough Tiger Gloves to do 4 more cents. I'm gonna give it 4 more, basically before Tau. Come Tau, I'm gonna want my gil. I'm not gonna. I have more gil, but I'm not just gonna run it all into the ground. I'm trying to chase this +1. I'm just gonna, if I don't get it in 4 more cents, I'm just gonna be happy with the fact that I have plenty of other things to buy. Like that's it, man. I took one good attempt. I think I did what was it, 12 the first time and then 20 the second time. So I'm like over 32, which is a total of like 16 million gil. And then obviously whatever I recoup from sales, but yeah, that's the other thing I've been up to.
I give you the same face for the 16 million gil wasted trying to +1 that LTL gives to me when I talk about +1ing my gear in AF or Relic.
Well, it reminds me of when I had a full stack of Dragon Talons and asked a friend to try and make a HQ Westgate for me, and I wound up with 12 or 10 regular Westgates because 2 of them broke.
Oh no. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the extent of our journey in Vegas. But first, we're gonna just go over quickly that next month is in fact October, which every year DA Soccer has been spearheading an Extra Life charity. I mean, charity everything. Like, I know a lot of people do like a single day for Extra Life on Extra Life Day, but you've historically done the month in order to give more room for the various redemptions and whatnot you have. So, if you just like to give a quick rundown of what you're doing this year, and we'll relay it to the listener.
Yeah, Extra Life Children's Miracle Network. You can actually just Google it and be able to pull it up. But it's a great foundation that I'd be able to reach out to. I haven't picked a hospital just yet. I think we did it as a link shell, or not a link shell, a stream at one point where it was right after the fires that hit actual Hawaii.
Maui, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big year, and I remember Quetch playing some guitar, and LTL promised a cooking stream that he followed through on 2 years later.
I played guitar and sang a song and
you
fucking.
did sing the song. You sing the song, and I remember watching that in my car as I was driving, and I was like, that was absolutely great. It was Creep, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Was that 2 years or was that 1 year? Was that last year?
Ago.
Oh,
Last year, nobody did anything last year.
Okay.
That wasn't last year.
So yeah. So this year I decided, kind of like with the Teabag Festival, where I made it up where anybody could be able to do it. I'm doing this and extending this to any streamers that want to be able to make it towards one pot. So everybody could have their own incentives, their own goals, and it all goes to one big pot for the Children's Miracle Network. It's going to be for the entire month of October. I already have a few incentives on there, just throwing out some ideas. We obviously have the Murder Me one from the GMs, which is a classic that people love being able to donate to. And we have a couple clamming streams, and I've lowered this each year because clamming is hurtful and painful to be able to do for that
Yeah.
extended period of time. So I've
You-
lowered it to 2-hour blocks.
You were 24
Yeah,
hours
go
the
ahead.
first year, right? And then you were 12
Yeah,
hours the next year. I remember now.
It was 24 hours the first year, and that
Yeah.
got claimed twice. And then the next year was 8 hours, and that got claimed all 3 times.
You
So it
were a
was
shell of a man
Oh.
after those first ones.
So I've dropped it down to 2 hours at a time. But the caveat is it's unlimited claims. So it can be claimed as much as wanted, but they're 2-hour blocks that it'll be. And the last one, which is something new, I'm looking forward to this, is LTL.
Hi, I'm LTL.
Hi. You always give me a face when I talk about plus oneing my gear.
I
About
do.
how worthless it is when it's okay. I have a new incentive this year that will be starting on the 1st. That a $100 donation to the Children's Miracle Network. I will spin a wheel for a job, and then I will spin a wheel for a piece of gear, and I will throw that plus one on the ground.
You're an idiot. You are an idiot. What is wrong with you, dude? Seriously,
So
that is
I'm going
crazy
to be
pound.
I'm going to be randomizing throwing plus one gear completely on the ground and going back through the process of refarming and getting the currency and getting the -1s and being able to plus one it again. But we don't know what it could be. Since it's randomized, you could donate for that to occur, and it's a piece of shit gear that nobody cares about, or it could be Dragoon Body from Tav. So it
No,
is.
I'm gonna fucking redeem all of them and make you get rid of every piece of gear you have, so you have to do it all over again.
$100
That
a
is
pop.
worth that. That's worth it for the kids. That's literally that's $9,000, dude. You donate
Oh.
$9,000 to the kids, 100%
I-
worth it.
I ain't doing that. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
I don't like sick kids, and I like to help them if possible, but not that much.
Okay. Good God. So yes, it is a open invitation. There's a few people that have already said they're wanting to be able to participate. It is open to any and all streamers of the Horizon. I want to make this a Horizon thing where the streamers of Horizon are raising money for the kids. You can do it on your own time. I personally do an extra step. All subs, gifted subs, and Twitch Primes, I add up that value at the end of the month, and I personally donate that as well. But anybody can do their own incentives, their own goals. We have one big pot that it goes to. I know Al's interested in being able to do it. C-Tech is talking about it. Hugin is going to be interested. We're going to set up a separate Discord for it, kind of like the Teabag Festival. Separate Discord where we can communicate and share and be able to kind of host and raid each other. But it's 100% for the kids. Every October, it is the full month of October before the holiday season hits, because that is roughest for the kids that are in the hospital, to make sure we get this the finances and the money to the kids themselves. So I can't speak more about it than it's just a passion that I do every year, and I do it for the entire month because there's a lot of people who, when I did it for one day back in 2014, I think it was, somebody was like, I was between paychecks, or I didn't have the finances this week to be able to contribute, but I'd love to. So this entire month is going to be for the kids, and I just wanted to be able to kind of put that out there. If anybody's interested, let me know. But it is an open invitation to for the streamers and the community to do something good for the kids.
Yeah, rock on, dude. Yeah, so October is right around the corner, and we do want to remind the viewer that October 4th is going to be the next Mog House meeting. Last item on the list here, the Mog House meeting, which we were told while we were at Vegas by Eric at the Saturday dinner. You should be there. It's going to be very important. There was a Q3 announcement that this episode will not be about, but it is a PDF. It will be linked below, but if you want to find it, it's on the Horizon website under the news section. They basically gave us a really optimistic note about the rebase happening and kind of like how that's going to dovetail into Tau testing and release. And as far as we know as a podcast, as far as we know as people who attended this in-person event, is October 4th is the day you want to be paying attention to the Mog House meeting stream. And there will be, as far as we know, information of some kind during that you will not want to miss as a Horizon player. So mark your calendars, join us. I'll be in there in chat. I'm sure at least one of these other fine fellows, maybe the cat even, will be there in chat.
We'll have a watch party.
But yeah, look forward to that. And it's kind of an exciting time to be part of the server. We've been waiting for the rebase and obviously Tau, for quite some time. And now we've honestly, read it for yourself. It looks like there's some really good news coming out of the gate. Now we move on to the actual thing this episode is supposed to be about, and that is the trip, what started as an unofficial trip of just people meeting together and that enjoy the same game. And I have my you won't be able to, audio listeners won't be able to see this, but I have my name tag here. It's the Gather Together name tag, GT25, that Hugin wonderfully put together. What does it say what is the version number? Play online
The
viewer.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah, he originally, when he made it, it was the actual version number of the retail side of things.
Yeah.
But I was like, just make it the date, dude. Make it the date or the 12/24/24. And he was like, date it is. I was like, perfect.
So really fantastic time. We're gonna walk through kind of day by day about the experience, and I guess I'll kick it off a little bit because, as I said, it was an unofficial meetup. Wasn't supposed to be like anybody from the dev team or anything like that. But it turns out on my flight from DC to Vegas, sitting 6 rows behind me was Eric, prior guest of the podcast and owner of the server. And I found out because Eric and Kenry were both on the three of us were on the same flight. Because when we landed the plane, I turned off airplane mode on my phone and I had Discord messages, and it was like, hey, it looks like you got a good view up in row 30 up there from Eric. And I'm just like, what do you mean? And I turn around and I see Eric doing the dog from Duck Hunt, like the little like 6 rows back. And so starting on Thursday, just getting in on the flight and meeting up with those two and just bullshitting on our way out of the airport, and then eventually getting to the.
We got a creeper in aisle 7. We got a creeper in aisle 7.
Wow. I love that you had that queued up and ready to go.
Oh, yeah, I do.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so I caught up with them on my layover from DC to Vegas, and I don't know. We just checked in, and Thursday I think was a mix of we went and ate at a Mediterranean place that was really nice, and with somebody has a relation to somebody on this podcast of some sort.
I heard there was a donut. That's all I heard.
That's what I had for dinner that night.
I
I didn't get any lamb kebabs or fucking falafel or gyros or any of that kind of shit. I had a fucking pumpkin donut. That was my fun on Thursday night.
Yeah.
It was a great fucking time.
That was the night I got spanked on the strip too.
Well, was it the same night? Probably, because we were just wandering around and BSing.
Yeah. We were kind of
The whole
getting the
evening.
idea of everything. Yeah, the ladies on the strip. But it was funny because I've told this a couple times on stream, but it was the group of people. It was like some devs. It was the Spin, Eric, Hugin, the Quetch, Rain. We were all just walking down this little corridor area.
It's like
between the hotels.
A strip leading to the main strip, but it was
And
places you could get drinks, places you could eat some food.
like $5 margaritas and all that kind of stuff. It was people just finding alcohol. That's basically what it was. And we get up to this area where there's ladies in fishnets and whips and chains and all this kind of stuff. And the whole group just stopped 10 yards away from them. And it felt like a high school dance where nobody wanted to interact, but they were over there looking and pointing like, oh my God, that woman's got pasties on. I mean, she technically qualifies. She can stream on Twitch, that kind of stuff. And I just go,
maybe on Kick, on Kick. All right.
Hey, ladies! And I pointed to the group, and they all scattered like fucking cockroaches. And I was like,
wait. It was more than "Hey, ladies." Hold on.
Well,
it was "Hey, ladies, over here," and you started pointing at the group of nerds.
Yeah, to the group. And all the nerds just took off running different directions.
Yeah, we
did.
I
was like, you know what? Screw this. I went over and I talked to them for a minute, and they were like, yeah, we take pictures for tips and stuff like that. So I got handcuffed and whipped, and I got a nice little video. I made sure to send it to both of my parents, and my mom obviously ignored it. My dad just said, wrap it up. And then they were like, the lady was like, hey, where are you from? I was like, Tennessee. She goes, all right, hey. And she went serious mode on me. She goes, hey, be safe out here. And I was like, that's nice of her to be serious. But at the same time, it was kind of worrisome that the topless lady wearing fishnets was like
Telling
need to keep your
you.
shit up."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's telling me to be careful.
Yeah.
So that was great. And I'll make sure to get the, like I said, the dad pose of you with your hand on the hip in the corner, like looking at me. I'll make sure to put that in the collage. That was a great pose.
I mean, it's funny that you saw the picture and caught that vibe because I was back there literally like, "Yo, go DA!"
But it was night one, and go ahead and kind of dip my toes and everything. Oh, is that the same night we got the guy deep throating the coffee video?
I think so.
I think that was the first night. Yeah, that was in the Flamingo. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Do we?
That was just a guy randomly at a Starbucks in the middle of the Flamingo that had a really hot coffee, but he wasn't using his hands, and he was just bobbing on that thing, going at it. The foam was all in his mustache and beard, and he was just enjoying his time at 2 a.m. drinking that Starbucks coffee. I just had to take a video of it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Poor guy. I hope what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas for that guy. You know what I mean?
I think he's a regular. You can tell. It's 2 a.m. in the Flamingo, and he's drinking a coffee with no hands. Yeah, he's a regular.
But yeah, Thursday was it was for people who wanted to get in a little early and didn't want to be like jet lagged on the Friday, which was the official day. Actually, it was like Friday 6 p.m. or something like that was the official start time of the event, which you guys will know had you seen the last episode. We basically pick up from I think I got up on Friday. I think I ate some Dunkin' Donuts, and then I basically like walked around a little bit before getting picked up by LTL, which is where the last episode picks up. We start in the car with Hugin. Which you guys
thank you for not
saw
wrecking at all, and thank you for the scurvy conversation and talking about the mail lady while driving LTL. That was a wonderful conversation. Your music selection is on point, by the way. I fucking enjoyed the entire time. We saw somebody basically die on a motorcycle. I mean, it was a good drive. It was a good drive. I appreciate you.
That was just another day in Vegas, my friend.
It didn't faze you at all, and I was kind of reminiscing back to that lady on the strip. Be careful out here. That's okay.
I like how you mentioned the male lady. Go ahead.
Right? Yeah. The funny thing about that lady telling you to be careful is that she's like one of the people you need to be careful of. Like those girls out on the strip, like they run a hustle where like they can't technically charge you for pictures, but they say that you need it, like we accept tips, and if you decide like you don't want to pay them, like they will hound you. Like they will absolutely like try to make it feel like they're experts at this, trying to make it feel like you need to pay them like $50 or some shit. And they will like chase you down and follow you, and like they are one of the people that you need to be worried about, are the people, those girls on this trip. Not that it matters now, but yeah.
This reminds me of like the Elmos and stuff in New York City. Like
very similar.
You ever get chased by an Elmo with a baseball bat over a photo?
No,
but you might, you might, so you should pay them.
I want to go back on Thursday, by the way. Rain. She's been to Vegas multiple times. She was one of the people that helped coordinate and plan everything. And one of her favorite places is this French onion soup place. And it's I don't know that it's like Berries or something like that. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like in a basement of a casino where they had the largest TV. And we were watching the first ever Thursday night football game, Eagles and Cowboys. So we're watching on this giant ass TV, but we go into the basement and we have the French onion soup. And I'll remember that at that point in time, I looked at the menu and I saw a steak that was for $289. And I realized I'm out of my element at that point in time. I ended up just getting the shrimp cocktail. It was $35 and it was 3 fucking shrimp. I was looking through the ice for other shrimp and there was no other shrimp. And I realized I need to start being fucking careful.
You could drink shrimp water. Like,
oh, dude, it was at that point in time, I was like, I'm out of my damn element. I need to be able to moderate myself. That was before the ladies whipped me on the strip. But yeah, I had to bring that up specifically on there because that was my first reality check of being in Vegas.
Damn.
It's rough, man. It's rough. It's expensive as hell. And it's like, people talk about like Vegas tourism is slipping and they have one reason or another that they're blaming, whether it be politics or not. But one of the big realities is that Vegas has gone unchecked for far too long, where it's just like prices have just been skyrocketing for no reason. Like, and they're losing a lot of like local business. Not that they're really dependent on it too much, but I'm sure it doesn't hurt. Um, what local is going to go spend $40 for a shrimp cocktail? Like, who's
Three.
going to go for
Three
three
fucking
shrimps? Right.
Yeah.
Like, locals aren't going to do that. So like, it's kind of like a sore thing out here where like, a lot of the locals feel like they're being priced out of their own town just for the sake of upcharging tourists. And I'm sure it'll only get worse now that like revenues are dipping and stuff. So
18% drop is what I heard, and
yeah,
But
that's
this is all before the cooking stream that you actually did.
Yeah.
So we probably need to actually kick that off.
Yeah, I mean, we said a bunch about it earlier in the stream. Obviously, we watched the show, but or obviously you probably would watch the show before this one. But Hugin you had invited Hugin over to join us for dinner, and we got to chat with him finally. I mean, we've been wanting to get him on the podcast for probably since the beginning or so. And Hugin hung out and enjoyed his time with us as well.
His excuse was always like, what would I talk about? I have nothing to be able to talk about. I'd be a boring guest. And
he's a sassy bitch. What are you talking about? I don't know what he means. Like, he was one of the sassier people that we've had. Like, he was giving me shit, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, until he couldn't anymore. Until he couldn't function anymore.
We don't have to go into all of that, but
no,
like,
we don't. That was a good time. That was a good time.
But yeah, like, it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing I definitely didn't poison his food. I mean, I'm kidding. He didn't even eat it. He didn't even eat it.
He took like 2 bites total. Yeah.
One bite.
Did anybody have anything they wanted to say about the dinner before we move on to the evening's activities? Because we did cover that in the last episode. Anything that might not have been might not have been on the show, anything like that. We got to see LTL's collection of nerd stuff, which you can see behind you in the screenshot. But what you can't see, dear viewer, is to LTL's left, right behind his little sign here, a giant vintage amplifier, guitar amp, the cabinet and the head. What do you call that? Yeah. Gorgeous. I'm jealous.
Yeah, 1960 something, I forget. Marshall full stack cab, 8 speakers. It's I've had it for years and years and years. Yeah, it's 8. I've had it for years and years. I still got like the tweed cover. Like, it's not like the newer like pearlescent looking or like silver Marshall cover. It's like the old school tweed, and the wood is like light wood. It's actual wood. It's not like that black bumpy cover that they have on cabs now to protect it from dinging. It's the old school, really old school one. I've had it for a very long time. But yeah, no, it's funny. I never thought that like it's something I see every day.
Right.
And then when you came in and you saw it, and I didn't even have my guitars in here because I had recently shampooed the carpet. Those were in the other room. But yeah, like you came in here and saw it, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally have this thing that I've never mentioned before."
I wanted to hug it.
Think about it. It's pretty great.
Yeah, sweet nerd collection there. But that evening, I think, was the kind of kicked off the whole event, because we all crammed together into we arrived. We went straight from the dinner, right? We drove to the karaoke spot, and we walked in to a room full of people we all know. Like, at this point, a lot more people had arrived, and we walked into a room of like fellow streamers and Horizon players and other people that were all in karaoke. It was like a 40-person maximum room, which we were like 30 something, and it was a great, fantastic time. Honestly, I loved it.
It was like 40 people in a 27-person room or something, is what the girl at the front desk said.
It was a 27-person room.
It was something like that.
We advertised and booked it as a 40-person cap room.
Well, the woman who was at the front desk or the bar said,
we were lied to. We were lied to. Yeah, 100%.
She said it's like a 27 cap in there, and then she's like, and there's like 40 people. I'm like, oh, that's why it's so hot and sweaty. Okay, sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was not like if the people that were all with us would have came in to sit, they would have been on the floor. Like the couches were all taken up around the whole outside of the room.
There was a rotation of about 5 people that was going outside and
Yeah.
sitting down, and going outside and sitting down, just because of how many people were in there. But the karaoke was phenomenal, and finally I got to see other people that I hadn't been able to kick it with. Like Al's wife showed up. We had Beer Man was in the corner. The whole dev team was back there as well. It was great to be able to walk in, and then we had Solo Wolf show up a little bit later, and that was pretty cool because he came straight in from having a problem with the actual hotel. They didn't have his room ready, so he showed up and he didn't have a place to stay, and it was cool to be able to see the community come together. Immediately I was like, you can stay with me, and I took off my shoes because we always make fun of Solo being a foot guy. And he was like, man, fuck you. But we started picking on him about being Bastock and everything. And then Al was like, I got an extra bed. And I was like, dude, that's a better bet because you're going to be head to toe with me otherwise. So being able to see us cover each other and the karaoke and the songs and the engagement, it was great, man. It was great. What songs?
Did I sing anything?
Yeah.
Oh no,
With the mic.
The only thing I did, and you might not have even been in the room at the moment. I did beatbox.
I heard about that.
While Rain was doing I forget what song it was, but I had never. It was from K-pop. What was that
Demon
movie? Yeah, Demon Hunters. I had never seen it, but the beat was pretty straightforward. And so I didn't sing anything that night, but I used to do open mics. I used to beatbox open mics. It's like what I do. It's like my thing. So and that came up. I'm just like, okay, I get the beat. I don't know the words, but Rain's singing, so I just went with it, and it was a lot of fun. But it was like the end of the night, so there wasn't that many people around.
Yeah, I felt a little more comfortable by the time. I had to be. The event started at 8. We didn't get there till like 10:30. And it was good.
That's not true.
I think
not
I
true
don't think
at
it was
all.
10:30. Was it?
We got there before 9.
Bullshit. 100%
No.
bullshit. Yeah,
maybe just after 9.
I will pull up the stuff and be able to like quote. There's no way. It wasn't even dinner. Wasn't even served by the time it started.
Yeah, we were eating dinner.
10:30.
We were eating dinner about an hour after it started. I remember eating dinner and looking at my phone, being like, "Okay, it's been like an hour since."
And that's before we went to your room and checked out and nerded out in there.
And then the drive there.
Goddamn. Hey, yeah, the drive there. Yeah. But I
Anyway.
did some karaoke. I did Superman from Eminem, and then I was outside. I was like, man, I really wanted to do Forget About Dre with Al or Solo. And neither one of them were really up for it. So I was outside and I said that, and I think it was Swishy's wife was like, he loves that song. So I went in, asked Swishy, and Swishy was like, let's do this. And then not only did we do Forget About Dre.
You and
we ended
Swishy
up
did like 4 songs or something.
Oh, yeah. We did Lonely Island's Mother Lover. Dick
That's
in a
right.
Box,
You guys
Mother,
did
I'm on a Boat, and then we did Devil Went Down to Georgia as well. So, I mean, we found each other at that moment and just had a blast. And we were just tearing up the songs.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
I would love to have heard that you did the Ballad of Jack Sparrow, because that's one of my
I
favorite
was
Lonely
on the
Island
list. I was
songs.
on the list. Yeah, that one's a classic. But yeah, we didn't get around to that one on there. But it was a lot of singing. I've definitely felt it in my throat come the next day. I could have used some cough drops.
Wow.
That's a funny joke.
I don't think the cough drops thing made it into the last episode at all.
No, and it's okay if it doesn't, because I'd like being able, just like our photo section of the getting the gather together, where it's just the people that attended. I like that being something special for us.
So to your point about having you guys sing a bunch of songs, that's one of the highlights that I remember from the night. The other is Eric singing the Aladdin song. Eric and who was it that did
Was it Tyflo?
Tyflo, maybe Damaris? I think it was one of the other devs.
I couldn't see in that corner.
It did a Whole New World from Aladdin. And then when we did Under the Sea, like 2 crab dance, like as a group. It's just so memorable. It's funny because we only did like 2 or 3 Disney songs, but like those are so memorable because it's just fitting and funny. And then Rain doing like, Rain was funny too because she was like, "Okay, nobody else wanted to do anything." She's like, "If nobody else is gonna do anything, I'm gonna do Taylor Swift." And we heard like 4 Taylor Swift songs throughout the night because it was like nothing else was queued up.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Props to Rain.
fantastic.
Props to Rain because the karaoke was actually her idea to kick off the
great.
event with the karaoke, and I thought that was incredible. The room was a little tight, but it was drinks, fun, laughter, jokes. It was just a great fucking time, and I thought it was a perfect way to be able to kick off the event. So props to her.
Yeah, ton of fun. Like that that night's gonna stick with me for a long time. It was an absolute blast. And then the next scheduled activity was brunch at brunch with everybody. Like literally like just everybody show up. You know, now we're talking Saturday. We're talking 11 a.m. something like that.
Yeah.
And it was
11
just
o'clock at Off the Strip.
yeah, which is on the strip that's off the strip. As mentioned before, it's like the strip that leads to the main strip where like our hotel kind of leads out to. Again, $5 margaritas, you know, places like this that serve brunch, you know, sports bars, that kind of thing. And that is where I guess I'll give a couple highlights from that is Thados had brought an Absolute Virtue playmat from Magic the Gathering that is officially licensed playmat because Magic the Gathering recently did the Final Fantasy set. And Absolute Virtue is one of them. But there's like an FF14 one. There's like, a couple different Final Fantasy ones. And the Absolute Virtue is the 11 representation. So he had been planning this for months. And we all just passed it around and put our signature on the Absolute Virtue playmat. LTL's right across the chest.
It's going to be it's worth so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was surprised that no one had signed it on like AV's chest, and I was like, well, he's super LTL man now.
Everybody did it like all around the sides and like down his pole arm. I was gonna say shaft, but down the like pole arm and in the corner, and then I'm on the thighs and the crotch, and you're right across the chest.
Yes. Appropriate.
Appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous playmat. Go ahead. Speaking of Thados, while we're on the topic, he had made pins for everybody, and as you can see here, dear viewer, it is a hardcore symbol from Final Fantasy XI, or what we're using on Horizon for the hardcore symbol, made in a pin form. He had made like 100 of them and just gave them out to everybody.
I think he's actually planning. He had a few of these leftover extra. He's planning on actually using those as an also incentive for his extra life that he's planning on doing next month, where they're light enough to be able to mail, so people could donate to the Children's Miracle Network, and he would actually mail one of those hardcore pins or his extras that he actually does have. That's awesome. So that's something that he was interested in being able to do as well.
Yeah, shout out to Thados. If you haven't caught his stream, it's Thados7Q, I think is his Twitch handle.
I think so, yes.
Always streaming like hardcore stuff. So if that's your bag at all, and often with DA on your guys' hardcore, you guys will co-stream sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Look for him.
We want to be able to stream the hardcore stuff for documentation in case one of us just gets absolutely ravaged. That's the reason why we stream the hardcore stuff, just in case there's some bullshit.
Pins look great. Really appreciate that. I've got mine over on one of my bags over on the side of my room here. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a good, honestly, solid brunch. I forget. What did you eat, DA?
We had 3 separate tables of like 10 people a pop. And I went over to one of the other tables, and I think Claustro and Al were both there. And Claustro started telling me how he like met his wife and everything since she was there as well. One of them like fucking Disney style movie like plots. It was phenomenal. It got me like emotional about how sweet and romantic that was. And then right beside me, Al goes like, I was in 2nd grade with my wife. And I'm like, okay, everybody's got love. And I just left the fucking table and went back to my table for my chicken and waffles. The chicken, honestly, I wasn't a fan of the chicken, but that's when I also got Claustro's honey, his homemade honey. And I ended up I used his honey and I glazed the shit out of that chicken, and it made it so much better.
I just want to say,
the honey.
I straight up called that chicken waffles was not the chicken on the menu. It's like
waffles were on point.
It's like coated. It's like breaded chicken breast with waffles. I'm like, that's not chicken and waffles. You got to get like a chicken thigh, a deep fried chicken thigh.
From Tennessee, it was offensive.
Yeah, right. I see you made light of a good situation though. You said you put the honey on it.
Oh yeah, I just glazed that thing. It was so nice. It was very thankful for Claustro. Jumping ahead, when I got back with the con crud, I didn't have any meds in the house, and I used his honey to put it in some heated water, and that was my kind of tea that I was using to get through the first day before I was able to get meds. So 100% shout out to Claustro and that honey that he personally actually harvested.
He brought some number of
LTL,
jars.
are you okay? Are you okay,
Yeah,
LTL?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I was just wondering,
Great.
did he use royal jelly for it?
Oh, that's cute.
Do we got a brunch on the soundboard?
I don't have it.
No.
No, I used to have the laughing
I've got
board.
this though.
It cut out halfway.
And that's faded.
That's all right.
Anyway, yeah. So the brunch was good. Honestly, food was all right and the price was all right. The community aspect, sitting at a table of 10 other people, getting to know, because the karaoke was fun, but it was more like let's sit in the same room, we'll sing some songs, we'll laugh a little. But this was like you can actually have a conversation. I met Swishy's wife, whose name I never bothered to ask her name. We talked the whole weekend because she's awesome.
She is. We both have an experience within the first 24 hours of Swishy's wife. She was like, yeah, go talk to him about forget about Dre. And that's how that started.
Yeah.
And then you as well. So she was phenomenal.
They're big tabletop gamers as well. And I know my stream in the background has changed a number of times, but I have my favorite game right here. It's called Splendor. I've got a fun one called Betrayal House on the Hill, which a lot of people know. Like I'm a big tabletop gamer, and so are they. So getting to know them was awesome. Swishy and his wife. And like I said, you really got to like sit down and actually have real conversations. Nobody's drunk yet, although some people. Wait, was that the morning where people had mimosas for like breakfast? They had like the unlimited mimosas.
I think that was Friday morning.
If you're at brunch, there's mimosas, or it's not brunch.
Yeah, that was the Friday morning before before everything kicked off. I think literally I remember them. It was unlimited mimosas. Then we all met up, and then some people went back and had more unlimited.
That's right. Okay.
So yeah, it was just a constant swarm. If you like drinking, you would find it.
Yeah.
Mimosas are dangerous.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I guess
I actually drank there.
We've actually thrown out a few names at this point, but basically, we mentioned the devs not really saying much for the event, but actually a large majority of them had shown up. Previous guests on the podcast, Damaris, Beastie, as I mentioned, Eric. We had Tangent, who was in Tangent was in with the Sailor Scouts hardcore that we had done. And it was super cool getting to like meet with those people as well, because we didn't anticipate it, right? We were just like, oh, it's just going to be like a bunch of cool FF11 gamers, and it was cool FF11 gamers and the people who could ban us if they wanted to.
Yeah, it was. We did some bantering with them. We found out about the charm isn't light based; it's water based.
Yeah.
So you can actually put up carols and bar water to be able to like avoid that. Also found out with the new NM, which we talked about, they implemented a hardcore thing where remember that you can pop it with a group of 18, but only 6 could fight it. Mm-hmm. And if somebody from the outside party, but the same alliance got hate, it would pull them in and instant KO them. They put in something apparently, and I haven't tested this yet, but they said they put in something for if a hardcore player in the outside party, but same alliance got hate, it wouldn't pull them in and kill them. It would D2 them and send them back to their home point to prevent them from dying, which I thought was actually cool that they implemented something for hardcore to prevent them from getting absolutely fucked.
Yeah, it's funny because when we talked about that NM on the show, you mentioned like the hardcore. What happened if a hardcore gets it? That'd be a pain in the ass. That'd be rude.
Now,
but
if the hardcore is that group of 6 that's fighting, that's not going to happen. But if you're in that outside group of 6 with the same alliance, it would D2 you. And I thought that was good that they thought about that and actually implemented. I never tested it. They said they were like laughing as I ran up with my hardcore player, trading an item to it, trying to pop this thing. They said if it would have popped when I did it, I would have been one shot.
That's so funny.
Thank God that didn't happen. But they were paranoid about that. Did you just enter hell, LTL? It was red, dude. It was all red.
I don't know what that was all about. No, I didn't enter.
Okay. I see some shockwaves coming out onto the red screen right now.
Yeah, we have a little reflection on your PC.
Yeah, I've been watching on the PC.
Okay. So it's not a secret that I'm over here playing Borderlands.
No, you're
not a secret.
But
I'm still engaging.
You're fine. Right after, and by the way, props to you for being able to come out to the karaoke. I really liked you being able to interact because you were wanting to be able to do the dinner, but being able to interact and engage and furthermore on there, I was appreciative because you are a native there, and being able to be a friend with you for as long as I have, it was nice to be able to actually spend time with you.
I am not a native, I'm a local, but understood.
You're close enough, close enough.
Native.
But after the brunch, we ended up going to do the card stuff, which I knew nothing about, but I was
Yeah.
down to be able to experience it. So you take that.
Yeah.
You take the whole.
So we had been planning for months when this first got kind of like announced that it might happen. That like, hey, there's enough Magic players kind of in our circle, and the Final Fantasy set has been out since June. And it was like, hey, what if we do a draft? Because that's like a really fun thing to do when you have a lot of people, so you can get everybody involved, but still playing with the same like pool of cards. So we had a booster box of play boosters put aside, and we ended up having 10 people to play, which is good. You can either do 8 or 10, or you can do less if you want, but like 8 is the ideal and 10 is like possible. And a few people just hang out in the sidelines, which included yourself, DA. Just kind of like there to hang out, get the vibes of a good Magic the Gathering store that was clean and good tables. And I had called them beforehand because I'm like, hey, listen, I have some people here. We're all here hanging out for like a meetup. Like, do you have space where we could play? And they were like, yeah, sure. We're open till this time at 6 o'clock. We have like commander night. So, if you're going to be taking up a lot of tables, you're going to have to be out before that. And I said, sure, cool. One more question for you. We're going to bring our own box. Is that cool? I'm sure people will want to buy like sleeves or whatever. And like from one Magic player to like a store, like one to another here is like, I know that normally, that wouldn't be allowed, a thing you'd allow. And they were like, nah, don't even worry about it. Come on in and bring our box. So, typically you buy a box at the store and you break it there because that's like the respectful thing to do. However, my suspicion, which ended up being true and was confirmed by the people when we got there, is like, you cannot get these boxes. Boxes of play boosters they're not, literally card stores that got cards in June have not been given a restock of play boosters, which is what you would need to draft, which is what you would need to sit down at a table with 10 people and play the Final Fantasy set unless you brought your own cards. This is exactly the box you would need. Nobody got them during the last restock. Yeah. So they were like, oh, no wonder you brought your own box. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense now, right? And they're like, yeah, cool. So no worries. So anyway, so we did a draft. Again, we had 10 people. And the coolest part of it, which I didn't even think to like, for me, it was just like, make this thing happen. It was like, get people in the room, split the box, do a draft, however we're going to do it. We'll get some games in. It'll be fun. 3 people who either had never played before or vaguely kind of knew how to play, but not really. It's been a number of years that were in the draft. And I think had a super fun time, which is not an easy balance to strike.
The variety of people that we had attend the Vegas event, from people that are new leveling to veterans in the H&M shell, was the same kind of vibe we had at that draft. From people
100%.
that had $1,000 or more expensive like decks pre-built with their own carrying cases, to people that didn't know anything about the game, that we had coaches on the side being able to kind of help them out, that knew more about the game, teaching them. It was a great variety of people, and I loved being able to just post up and talk to him.
Yeah, Smokey hadn't played since like Revised or something like that. He had started in beta. And Swishy had played when he was in like high school or something like that. And so Swishy was the player during the draft, and Smokey was like talking him through the cards and the rules and stuff like that. So we had 2 people who barely didn't, and they had a great time. Solo drafted an awesome mono black deck.
Yep. He had Lord. Lord was there to be able to help him on coaching when it was switch. It was the 2 new guys against each other, so they both had coaches helping them out.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal, man. I really enjoyed it. I knew nothing of going into it, but you know me, just with the ladies on the strip, that looks fun. Let me go over there.
100%.
Same thing
dude.
with this.
And you know what really happened that I was looking forward to was people like looking at the cards and being like, oh, it's Shantoto or whatever, and like because the Final Fantasy set was so full of flavor. And DA walked away. Yeah, that's right, because you had sponsored somebody for cards.
2 people.
Yeah,
Yep,
so you had walked away. Yes. So on the screen just now was the instant ramen card from Final Fantasy 14. Um, Fantastic time, and I would like to see a next year meetup happen. I don't know if it'll be in Vegas or otherwise. We are actually, this is probably a good place to say, we will have a survey for people who didn't attend that you can fill out. That'll be linked down below. That'll say like, hey, why couldn't you make it? Was it the time? Was it the money? Whatever. So fill that out if you want to see next year happen. The point here that I'm trying to make is, I don't know if we'll be able to get more Final Fantasy cards, but in terms of like getting together doing something nerdy in the middle of the day on one of the days of the con like, or of the meetup, like, has to happen. It's just so much fun getting together to sit around a table and play like a board game or more, Magic or whatever it is.
Cheapest Monster Energy drinks while I was out there. $3 monsters. I was
$2.99?
down for it. Let's go. Free 99. No, I paid for them. I paid
Yeah,
for
okay.
them.
Um,
But yeah, that was great.
yeah. So you didn't play, you just hung out. But you had said the vibe was good, like, basically, right?
Yeah, Eric yelled at me because I sponsored 2 people, but I didn't buy him sleeves.
Oh.
So he was like, "You heathen, you!" And I went over and bought Bob Ross sleeves just because that's one of the streams that I put on as a just like a
awesome.
background thing with just Bob Ross. So I got the Bob Ross sleeves. By that point, Solo had already bought his own sleeves for his own ones, but I got a bunch of the cards, and yeah, it was just nice being able to kind of watch. I didn't understand a fucking thing that was going on,
Yeah.
but it was nice to be able to just watch people play and kind of learn and experience. Compliments to that being a call out, and especially with it being, I mean, it was perfect for Vegas and the card and Final Fantasy fans, and it was just good.
It was a little off the strip, but man, everybody had a great time, and it was worth the effort to get everybody together. So really happy with that. Next up on the agenda that evening was Saturday, which was the big dinner. This was like in some ways, basically the whole event was positioned around like, hey, we're gonna have a get together dinner at a Brazilian steakhouse on the Saturday, and then after that, people can go do whatever they want. Sunday, people are gonna pack up and leave, so let's get everybody in the same room for one last thing, and that is the Saturday dinner. Anybody feedback? LTL, how about I toss it over to you, man? Can you give us an overview of what build you're using in Borderlands? No. An overview of the dinner, just like what was the vibe, what was the place about, what did you take away from that
Well,
evening?
so I guess everybody may not know or realize what Brazilian barbecue is. So I guess the best place to start is to start with what the philosophy behind a Brazilian barbecue is. So basically, it's a place where you go to that has like a massive, like, carb loaded salad bar that they hope that you'll fill up on like really heavily. Um, but the concept is like all of the meat comes on swords. So like the waiters or whatever they're called there, I don't know if there's like a specific name for them. They all walk around with like a giant, basically a sword that has like cooked meat lined all the way up on it. And it's all different kinds of meat. I think like they had sirloin and filet and salted chicken and lamb chops and like just lamb and um what am I missing? I know they had a ton
Sausage.
of sausage, right? Barbecue ribs.
Picante was
Um,
one of the meats. I learned that one. I hadn't
uh,
had that
uh,
one before.
Picanha,
Or
I think is what it
oh
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is that it?
yeah, um,
Picanha?
yeah,
Picanha.
picanha. Um, and so basically, like you have this little thing next to your plate that you can turn to red or green. Green means I want the meats. Red means I'm done with the meats.
Arby.
Right, we've got the meats. So you basically, like, when you get there, you have your like salad bar or whatever where you get your plate, and then the whole while that you're eating this, the waiters are walking around with just all these various different kinds of meats, stopping to ask, do you want some of this? Do you want some of this? Do you want some of this? And it's like constant, and they're constantly walking around. And then, like, if you want it, you have a little like grabber thing, and you help them pull it off, and then you have your meat. So now that you understand what a Brazilian barbecue is, basically we
I'm
were in a
having
room by
flashbacks.
ourselves. Yeah, basically, we were in a room by ourselves, this massive room on the side of the building. Um, two really long tables. It seemed like it was 4 tables put together, I think.
I think so.
Or
Or
maybe
maybe
even
more like
more.
8.
I don't know. Yeah, it could have been more. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And like it was just like 2 rows of tables, and like people were sitting on both sides of the table. And I guess unlike the brunch, which I wasn't there for, it was a lot. It was kind of more difficult to talk. Like, I mean, people
Yeah.
around you, yeah, you could talk to them, no problem. But even like the distance that you and I were from each other, Quetch, which was not very far at all. Like I could have reached out, we could have reached out and touched each other. It
Yeah.
was still like we had to talk at like an elevated level.
We were like right on
being
the
able to
diagonal, or
hear.
maybe like one over from the diagonal.
Yeah,
And
you were
I
like, I
had a
think
hard time
you were
speaking with
2.
you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like you were like 1 up and like 2 over, I think. You
Yeah.
made a night move away from me.
Yeah.
But and it was like, so it was loud, but that was good because everybody was enjoying themselves. And the bar was right outside of the room, so you could get up and get your own drinks if you wanted. I didn't honestly, I didn't eat a lot of food. Like I hadn't really verbally medicated myself enough that day where I would want to be very hungry. Much like our friend the night before, like it kind of put me off. It didn't like it wasn't like due to it itself or anything. It was just like the whole situation kind of put me off from like even wanting to. So, I ate a fair amount, but I didn't eat that much. But it was great. And I got to actually talk to some people that I hadn't talked to. Apparently, ALR waved at me, and I didn't wave back. I think it was the night before. I think it was the night before or something. But I didn't see.
You're
him. It's
such
not
a
like
piece of shit.
I know.
Such a
I
good
know.
That's
I mean,
Al, dude. He's a national
I am.
treasure.
I am a piece of shit, like no matter what. But like, I didn't see him. Like, so he's like, next time I wave at you, you should wave back. I'm like, fuck, dude. Sorry, bro. God damn. Like, I didn't know. Like, I'm like, I'm not in the habit of like, if somebody waves at me, just being like, I'm too good for that guy. Fuck you. That's not me. So I waved at him right at the table, like we were sitting like kind of right next to each other. And I'll wave again. Hi. You better wave back. Anyways, and then like and then during the meal, there was a point where like people wanted Eric to talk. Well, because okay, let me back up a little bit. So Hugin got up to give like thanks and appreciation to the people who helped, which was Rain and DA, and like putting everything together. And then of course people were like, "But you did too, Hugin! Big round of applause!" Everybody applauded Hugin. Yeah. But then I don't know who the person. I don't remember who it was. It was the person sitting across from ALR. It was a guy. I don't remember who he was, and I do apologize for that.
That was the only thing I think they attended. I think that person and their wife or girlfriend were doing their own thing in Vegas, but they met up with us for that dinner alone. So I don't recall who that was either.
Well, that makes sense. But then he stood up, like kind of like out of nowhere, and was like, we want a big thanks to Eric, blah blah blah, and all of I forget exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of like, and having all of these people around is truly a treasure. And he's like, and speaking of treasure, and then like everybody kind of laughs because you know what's coming next. He's like, Eric, you promised us last night you'd tell us, because Eric, we had all been overserved a little bit at karaoke night, some more than others. That's neither here nor there. But this dude was like, Eric, last night you said you're gonna tell us about like a date or whatever, and that's when Eric like he said he couldn't say anything, and I really respected him for not like caving to pressure, but he did say, and that's what like this was earlier. And I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, Quetch. He did say, I'm not gonna say anything. I can't tell you guys any dates or whatever. He's like, but definitely tune in to the October 4th stream. You'll get some really interesting information or some really good I forget his exact wording.
Right. I don't remember either.
He's like, you'll definitely want to tune in and check that out. So I will reiterate Quetch's earlier point, and I don't mean to get off track here talking about the dinner. Definitely check out that stream. There very well may be some information in there about like potential release dates. If not for the rebase, then potentially for Treasures. So definitely check that out. But yeah. All in all, the dinner was fantastic. There were T-shirts that Hugin brought.
The signatures.
Yeah, he was gonna keep one and then do one as kind of. I think he might be using his for his St.
There's
Jude's, I'm
one of
sorry,
them that
or
was signed by
Extra
everybody
Life.
there, and that is going to be auctioned off for Extra Life. That's
Right,
what I
Extra
was
Life,
told.
right.
Yes.
So then he wound up with both of those or whatever. Yeah, and I got to actually meet Crab. I was like, I'd seen him at karaoke, but it was just so loud and obnoxious. I wasn't interested in like trying to have a full on conversation with somebody for the first time. So I saw him and met him and his wife, I think, or his girlfriend. I don't know what their relationship
Beyonce, I
is.
believe.
Something. His partner, I
Sammy.
guess is a good way to put it.
Samira.
She was fantastic. Yeah, no, it was great. It was a fantastic dinner. DA and I spent a lot of time outside. Me vaping, him smoking. And and
A lot of prolonged
Gan was
eye
getting
contact.
well, Gan was getting very jealous. She's like, "Do you want me to just move so you two can sit next to each other if you're just going to be staring at each other all night?" I'm like, "We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, okay? Like, leave me alone." But yeah, so that was dinner in a nutshell. It
DA was
great.
even
I had a really good
further
time.
away. So I'm like a night's move
Yeah.
away from LTL. I'm like a rook move away from DA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole ass rook all the way down. No conversations with you guys during that dinner. I'd say that was the only regret I had, besides obviously getting COVID. But the only
Yeah.
regret I had from there was that we didn't have a group photo at the main dinner. That was the only regret that I actually have of Vegas, because that was literally like we were going to do group photo, whole 9 yards. And we all just got sidetracked with shitloads of meat and food, and we all just got distracted. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did we go gambling after that? That was the beer pong night.
Oh yeah,
beer
that was the night
gambling. Yeah,
that was where DA went and played some blackjack, and I played some
I learned how to play blackjack, and I beat El Diablo. I beat El Diablo. I put that woman in the grave. I put her down.
The dealer lady?
Yeah, she was tearing Tyflo up.
Oh,
He had hit the ATM 2 or 3 times on there, and I was like, you know what? If I sit down beside him, I'll start with $100. I'll sit down beside him. I'll change up his hands, maybe get some good vibes. First hand, blackjack, and then after that, I was winning a decent amount. I went up probably 50% or so. They swapped out the dealers, and then I broke even and walked away. But I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was there for probably 30 minutes to an hour.
I was gonna say he rushed through that a little bit, viewer, but I was standing there and LTL was watching as well, and DA had a roller coaster of like being up and then down and then up and then up again even, and then he calls it quits. So he's like, "Hey, listen, I broke even. I had a good time." He's like, "I'm out of here."
That was the smart play.
Yeah.
I took the advice of the lady on the strip in the fishnets. Be careful and be safe. I was like, all right, I broke even. I got my time. I got free fun out of it, and I defeated El Diablo. And that was a W for me.
Well, to be fair though, he only got back to even because of some ballsy bets, like putting it all in, like went all in a few times.
On me. Come on now.
I mean, it was definitely something to behold. It was fantastic to watch. And then I took pictures of him, and the pit boss like looked at me and he like shook his head and then he went like this. And I was like, bro, it's cool. Yeah, I was like, bro, it's cool.
If you go back to the photo, you can literally just see half of the pit boss's face in the cam just staring at him. And I was like, oh shit.
Funny.
Yeah.
He was not happy with it. Yeah, no photos. And thank you for that, because you sacrificed yourself for that. Because I was like, can you get some pictures of me actually playing blackjack? This is my first time I've ever played. And then as soon as you took the photos, you almost got ejected.
I put my life on the line. You can never go back to the link.
The AI will recognize you instantly.
That was before beer pong, which, by the way, shout out to Greek. Greek is the best
villain,
defensive player in beer pong I've ever seen in my life. I'm usually pretty good at being able to do a low bounce into the cup. I got one in on him. I've never seen somebody with that much defense. He is a hawk. His
scooping slapping the ball out of the way, scooping the ball out of the cup. Yeah,
he beat the brakes off me, dude. Him and Beer Man, they beat the brakes off me, and yeah, that was not great. And then I'm after the beer that I drank from getting my ass whooped in that, I went up and watched some wonderful Uno. There was no controversy with Uno at all.
Hold on.
There was no controversy with that Uno at all. That was 100%. Everyone knew the rules. Everyone was perfectly fine. The people had Bibles out. They were reading scriptures. It was great.
skip turn, motherfucker.
Uno is not a
You can't
game.
draw one and put it down. That's fucking cheating. Oh, that's part of the rules. It was chaos. I loved it.
Uno
It
is
was like
not a
8
game.
people.
It's a fight waiting to happen.
I just stood off to the side, just watched it happen. I was like, I'm not getting involved with this shit.
I'm gonna back it up real quick to Greek and Beer Man and everybody else who's hanging out. Beer pong, just fantastic. But I just want to say we can't shout out like everybody because there was so many people and you're all awesome. You know who you are. We're all in the same Discord together and whatnot. But I do want to say Beer Man ended up getting his verification on Twitch for Twitch partner the day he got home from Vegas. So I just want to say grats to him. Absolutely whooped freaking Swishy Tail and I in beer pong. We literally playing beer pong against a person whose Beer Man is in their name is like a losing battle. You know what I mean?
Or somebody named Greek. I mean,
Greek
come
and
on.
Beer Man. Yeah, that's a
Right?
horrible combo. Dude.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like frat boys invented fucking beer pong, and he's named Greek.
Greeks had a lot of frat boy energy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
focus.
But yeah.
Motherfucker was intimidating, man.
Big congrats to Beer Man for getting that check mark when he got home, and yeah, then Uno.
Yeah.
There's a
Everyone knew the
picture.
rules?
You got to put that picture in the collage. There's got to be, or at least one of them.
Which picture?
I don't know. Pick
I
one.
Whenever people were talking about Uno, I reached out to Beer Man because Beer Man was sitting beside. I think it was Rain and Nipple. What's the guy's name?
NB and Bizzle.
Inbizzle, that's it. It was Inbizzle and Rain that were going at it.
It was
in
glorious.
Uno. And you just see Beer Man do this. He goes. He leans back and puts his phone up and hits record and just records them just yelling at each other. And I hit him up. I was like, post that video. He immediately put it in there. And it's just great to be able to listen to. We're just having a blast.
You know, I just remembered later that evening is the IRL teabagging on Visage.
Yeah.
Were you there
Yeah.
for that? Were you there for the IRL
No,
teabagging?
Hugo brought teabags just to teabag
Yeah.
the IRL in Vegas. And then he started
So-
teabagging people all around.
So you guys know
Hugo-
about the
and then he
teabag
tried to get me
festival.
with the spicy water. He's like, hey, DA, you look thirsty. Do you want
That
some water? And it's a little bottle of water. And I open it up and I'm about ready to just chug it. And Rain leans over and goes, you might want to smell that. Motherfucking Hugo almost killed me.
Straight
I would have
tequila.
died if I chugged that shit. I would have died. I am a lightweight.
So
He's over there like...
we've got a picture of
It's so much fun.
Visage and Hugin's like dangling a tea bag on his forehead because he fell asleep in a chair on the floor of the casino. So for the teabag festival, we have a literal IRL teabag that occurred.
it sounds like I'm glad I left when I did.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause-
it sounds like it got kind of rowdy.
You were gone
Yeah,
basically
who knows?
after the gambling, right? You had pieced
Yeah.
out.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I had been drinking a lot that
Yeah.
night, and that Red Bull and vodka that I had. I mean, sorry, that mostly vodka and a little bit of Red Bull that I had at the
Right,
fucking
man.
casino. Holy shit! Like I was at the point where like I was good. Like I had been it would over the course of the evening, so I wasn't like drunk or anything. But like I knew that if I had stayed, I would have kept drinking, and I wouldn't have been able to drive home. Like if I was staying at the hotel, like and I was just there, yeah, I would have gone all night and hung out or whatever. But because I knew I had to drive, and you know, driving myself is one thing, but the fact that Gam was with me, like I wasn't gonna put her at risk. So it was just like, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah.
We've seen what we needed to see, so we left. But it sounds like I missed out on a lot of debauchery. So I don't know if I'm happy or sad about that, but I guess indifferent.
Drunk Uno
about
and
it.
beer pong. You're good, man. You're
Yeah.
good. If you've seen
Yeah.
him once, which you probably have in your life, then you've seen it all. But it was good
Yeah.
to be able to do it when it was just people that you usually see through a computer monitor. So
Yeah.
it was nothing but friendly, fun, fucking banter.
That's good.
Yeah. And
There's nobody getting serious, you know.
I would say that is the highlight for me is like the hangs with like people that you like have a friendship, a relationship to, but it's different because it's over the computer. And just getting to be there in person, just like, I don't know. I mentioned it when I went to Maryland for the Magic pre-release, and that was just a handful of people, but this was like everything that I kind of hoped it would be.
It was really awkward that I would be either in the front of an Uber or walking ahead of a group of people, and I would hear like Thanos Spin and Solo Wolf and Quetch behind me, and I would hear their voices, and it just felt like a Discord call. But then you turn around and you see them, and you're just like, "That's so weird." You're like,
Yeah.
you're here, but it was nice to be able to. The voices made everything feel comfortable, and then you just ended up you could kick it with anybody. It felt like anybody
Yeah.
off to the side, you could just sit there and just start up a conversation. Nobody was really bad. Everyone was cool, and
A
everyone felt
Discord
like,
call is what it felt like when I was driving you guys back to my house.
yeah,
Because I
Yeah.
wasn't able to like look around really while I was driving. So it was just like you guys were voices to the side and in the back, and I
Yeah.
was just like talking. It was like this definitely feels like a disco. I've had this call before.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was distracted by the mail lady and
Yeah, she was all caked up, and it was
and the
pretty
scurvy
distracting.
guy
There
at
it
the gas
is.
station. I was
Yeah.
distracted by both of them.
So yeah, obviously between Friday and Saturday, we've told some stories, but there was more that occurred. Just again, the hangs were very good, and then Sunday was the day to go. And I know that I had spent some time at the pool with some of the dev team, and some of the others, waiting for my flight. My flight was later on in the day. Um, they
Shout out to Rain. Shout out to Rain with her painted toenails. She actually had the green on one side and red on the other
for Gather Together.
for the auto translate
Yeah.
on there. And at the pool, she took a photo of it, and I tagged Solo Wolf just to be able, solo in his feet. So I mean, we just fun, man. It's great.
But that was just a nice little like finish, I guess, to the end of the weekend, and then I flew home later on that night, and that was it. Hung out at the airport for a couple hours, and now been home, sort of like reminiscing ever since. I definitely recommend people look for any. Hopefully next year it's official in some capacity, in terms of like people knowing more. Is a little bit of through the grapevine, and again, check the link below if you want to leave feedback onto, why you couldn't make it or what would help you make it in the future. Look for Hugin's survey link for that. And we did a survey as well for those who attended to see what worked and what didn't. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to add to the end of the weekend, the Sunday, or how you been ever since?
Well, I want to say that like if it happens again, like I don't really know of another place that could happen outside of Las Vegas that would make it as exciting and easily accessible for everyone as Las Vegas. Like
Mhm.
we're not catering to people under 21, so that's not really like a limitation. I don't imagine that most people who play Final Fantasy 11 are under 21. But I feel like the location and the amount of things to do like that are concentrated in just one small spot, um, it kind of really lends itself for this sort of thing. So I would definitely say that if it happens again, it should definitely be in Vegas. Not just because of ease of access for me. I mean, whatever. But like, I can't really think of anywhere else that you could go where you could like accommodate that many people and like everybody could like the late nights that you can do. It's like, what are you gonna do if you go to a different town? Like, go hang out at Denny's. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of other places you can go outside of Vegas that would that are 24 hours like
Waffle
that have
House.
always something going on, right? There's always something going on in Vegas, so there's always
Second
something
and
to do.
Broadway, man. Second and Broadway here in Nashville. Don't give that face to Nashville. Fuck you, okay? It was $35 goddamn shrimp. Fuck you.
I'm sure Nashville's great, but like, once you're done for the day, there's really not anything to do.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I had an absolute blast. I couldn't have expected or asked for anything better than what that event was. It was great vibes across the board, great people. Everyone could banter, and everyone meshed well together. And it wasn't just nerds that were like, treasures. It was like people having conversations. I remember specifically an H&M shell reached out to you and was like, "Yo, hey, you had a great week last week with your claims. Debo almost got a trifecta on your."
That's
and it
true.
Was like compliments. It was. I would say it was just. I couldn't have asked for anything better besides a group photo at the dinner, which that's part on me. I was invested in the event and completely forgot about the actual photo. But I'd
Would you
love
would you
for
say that there were a lot of other things on your mind that night? Would you say that your
It
mind
was
might have been
there was a
somewhere else?
lot there was a lot of people, a lot of things that were happening. Yeah, so I
Mhm.
would love obviously this went so well with just being a side project to turning into the massive thing that it was and being a success. I would love for maybe a small team to be made that is just set up for being able to set up reservations and get bookings and making just kind of a yearly thing out of this. I thought it
Yeah.
was great.
Speaking of H&M's shells, like there was no demo. I was the only demo member at the event. But you know what I did walk away with? I did walk away with a Were Dragon sticker.
Oh, mine's over
So
here.
just to show you like who's really like showing up and representing.
Well, I got I
Hold
got
up.
the Were Dragon sticker. I got the Silk Road sticker, and of course, Rain had to give me the Rain sticker.
What's
I
up,
got
boys?
Were
What's
Dragon
up?
sunglasses.
DA's
It
got
was
them on.
so. I do have to give a shout out to Rain for a different reason. You guys have been shouting her out for good reason. Um, so I don't know if you knew this, Quetch, and I think Da was there, but I don't know if he was paying attention. Um, but there were some contentious things that I may have said in previous podcasts a while ago, and I may have directed some of that ire once upon a time um, towards Were Dragon back when that sort of thing mattered to me. Um, and that kind of, I guess, soreness or whatever like was rippled, and no, not a lot of people were immune from it, and Rain was very familiar with the things that I had said, and I knew that she knew that. And so I sit down at karaoke, and I wasn't paying any attention to what was going on. And all of a sudden, she walks up to me. She's like, "Hey, I heard that you might be here, so I brought you this." And she hands me the Were Dragon sticker and just looks at me. And I just start laughing. I'm like, "You fucking, like, I cannot believe that you just got me like that." I'm like, "Well played, well played." And then she hands me the other two stickers, and I thought that was fucking funny as hell. I was like, "Well played. That was really good." And I don't know, like I thought that was pretty funny, so I just had to mention that and give her a shout out for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting to know Rain because I didn't. I mean, I've been aware of Silk Road, and then I was aware that you guys. She was part of the group that was setting the thing up. Turns out we were from the same OG server, Ifrit, back in the day, back in original 75 cap. I don't meet a lot of people. It was a smaller server. It's one of the ones that got gobbled up in the server merger that happened in like oh 08 or whatever it was. So it was rare for me to meet somebody from Ifrit. So
The team
yeah,
was phenomenal. Like I
yeah.
said, I was happy to be brought in as a just kind of a person to be able to banter with and be able to come up with ideas and such like that. But Hugan and Rain were talking about being able to do this at TwitchCon, but then somebody got married around that time frame and it pushed it back, and that's how this gathered together originated. And I'm very thankful that Hugan with the being able to have the organization, being a former community manager, and Rain with her experience in Vegas, and then myself with being able to banter the flow of what people are doing on each day. I gotta say, I can't give enough of a shout out to those individuals, and including me, on being able accepting me into being able to help them out with the event. I'm super happy and super thankful that it turned out the way it did. It could have been 5 people, but it turned out being fucking 40, and it was great vibes
Yeah.
across the board. So I can't say enough positive things about it. It was cool as shit. I can't wait to be able to have an excuse to go do it again, regardless of where it's at.
Vegas.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. I mean, that's 2 episodes. I'm sure, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna be like kind of reminiscing on these things for the time going forward. It really it's the whole package on being part of a community, which is what Horizon has been for us for these past couple of years now. And you kind of get past the it's not just a character on a screen; it's actually a person. And yeah, totally can't suggest it enough. As mentioned before, DA is going to be doing all of October is going to be Extra Life. I hopefully can sign on for some of that as well. Check out the Twitch stream, DA Soccer 6, or as mentioned earlier, also Thados is going to be doing stuff with the hardcore scene. We always have our socials on screen here or linked down below. Check us out on the various streams and places you can find us. But other than that, this has been the Level Sync podcast. You can find us the podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, and I think that's it. Wait a second, did I miss one? Oh, YouTube.
YouTube.
Thank you. Any last minute things? I think we had some last minute thoughts there, but any last minute things? I'll just ask you guys.
I got things, but they probably would be cut if I said them. So I'm not. The one comment on the strip when dude was trying to get me to go to the strip club.
Yeah. So what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I think
There you
we've
go,
told you
there you
guys
go.
about the extent of the activities over the weekend. Had a great time. If you were there, it was a pleasure meeting you, and hope to see you at the next one. All right. Bye, everybody. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Adios.